It's going. Well, hello, everyone. My name's Adam Bielanski, and welcome back to another episode of Central Mafia's PitchIT 2026 series, and my co-host, mi amor, Sean Lardo, sitting over there. You like that, Sean? I rolled my R's.
Did you try to roll your R's this time?
I tried.
Can you do it one more time? Do it one more time.
Mi amor. Yep. That's right. Sean. So another week. Big plans this next week for you. So we'll have actually Juan Mac on next week from Central Mafia directly. And so here we like to focus on practical leadership guidance, understand the PitchIT contestants, understand what they do, how the software helps operate their business, and get to know the contestants. Sean, before we jump into the PitchIT stuff, I wanted to talk about Central Mafia. So give us your pitch for Central Mafia, if you will.
Man, this is a day of pitches.
It is a lot of pitches.
Yeah, a lot of pitches everywhere. So Central Mafia user group is exactly what that is. It is a user group. It is built, created by MSPs for MSPs. It was part of the ConnectWise user group ecosystem. And then it branched off on its own 2 years ago. The goal behind it, like I said, is to have MSPs that are running it. They're helping to build the content. There are meetups. We have 4 physical meetups a year, 2 in Anaheim, California, and 2 in Burr Ridge outside of Chicago, Illinois. The goal for this is all about education and networking, and it's an intimate setting. It's not a big conference. There's nobody's pushing product. It's literally there's only about 6 or 7 at most sponsors that are involved, and like I said, we're trying to keep it intimate. So we're anywhere between 75 to 150 attendees that come to each event, and that's it. It is laid back. It's really good. We right now currently have about 6,000 members that are actually receiving our emails and whatnot, and newsletters on stuff. Everything they get is all educational, though. Nothing to push any products at all.
Nice. So very agnostic. So if you check out centralmafiaug.com, you'll see UG. So why did I have to do that after you? I don't know. So it's just part of it. So check out the website, join the community. So we're inside Slack. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn. Check out our web pages and our social media profile.
YouTube, all the good stuff. Yes,
definitely. Yeah, so let's jump into PitchIT this year. So PitchIT, just tell us PitchIT again, Sean. What is PitchIT for the audience that has not seen us before?
Yes, PitchIT is a Shark Tank-like competition that was brought to you by ConnectWise. It is us trying to make sure we're helping to look for the best new coming software startup companies. The goal behind that, though, is to get them to be more ingrained into the community. They're supporting MSPs, of course. So that is what this is all about. It is a competition, as I mentioned. Right now, we have 20 vendors that are in this competition this year competing. They are trying to become one of the 3 finalists that will show up at IT Nation Connect Global in November to pitch live on stage. First place will receive over $100,000 in cash and prizes. Actually, 105 to be precise. Second place, $55,000 in cash and prizes. And third place, $35,000 and just prizes, no cash.
Nice. We still have third place, Marvin B. Steak Knives, maybe?
And Marvin B. I stand corrected. Most importantly, Marvin B. Steak Knives.
Oh, it's pretty awesome. Okay, so this year we have 22 contestants?
20, like I just said before.
20.
2 minutes.
Sorry.
Literally, a minute ago I said that.
Yes. So we are now 6 weeks into this, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, we started. So the first week kicked off in May, after the first week of May, actually. So, so we are, give or take, 6.5 weeks approximately into this.
Okay.
And
So
it's a 16-week program, so we're trucking.
So can you share any highlights from your coaching and what's going on in the back?
I think, you know what? I don't want to share any highlights because I'd rather our guests share highlights since they are going through the whole course, right?
Yeah.
I do think it's important to hear their voice and then we banter about it, right? But I think the one thing to know, probably the highlight though of everything, is the fact that we've already surpassed, as far as like the awareness of the event. This is so far been the biggest year for us, for people actually engaging in the content coming out from the competition, from the contestants. So and that's based off of like impressions and clicks and comments and shares and everything else on social media and whatnot. So yeah, that's exciting.
Awesome. Any standouts so far, Sean? No, none.
I would. There's, you know what? You can't say there's a standout because right now.
Let me change the question. Anything surprise you so far?
No, I was going to say you don't know yet anything because they are still in their educational piece, right? There's nobody that's actually pitching anything. I would say this. It seems like this class is very engaged with all the teachers, the instructors that come on for the workshops. It's and they're all collaborating very well. So and this isn't anything unique. Year over year, over year, we see the same things happening where these vendors become friends and they collaborate to improve and better their positions. So even if they're competitors in the real space,
Pretty awesome. Okay. So this week, I was just editing a name here. So before I bring our contestant on. So I'm going to go ahead and bring on our contestant, Shannon from ChangeBreeze.
Did you hear it, Shannon? Did you?
I did.
ChangeBreeze. He worked hard to do
that.
Hey, Shannon, where are you from?
Hey, I'm from Australia. If you can't tell from my accent, I live in a small state. It's called Tasmania, where we have the Tassie Devil. It's a real animal. I've got 3 kids, 3, 11, 15. I know I look like I'm in my 20s, but
yes,
my birthday today. And I'm actually in my mid-30s, and my eldest loves to remind me of that every day.
So let's slow it down real quick here. So as of today, it's not your birthday in the US yet. It's your birthday in Australia, though, right now.
Well, I actually accounted for that. It was my birthday in Australia yesterday, but it is in the US today.
Of course you accounted for that. Oh, well, happy birthday. Happy belated birthday. Happy all the birthday part I can think of.
Yeah. Definitely happy birthday.
Thank
all
you.
Right. So Tasmania. I don't think we've had any contestants from really far down there.
No, you're the first.
First.
You're breaking the ceiling here, Shannon.
Yeah. So Shannon, tell us a little bit about ChangeBreeze. What do you guys do?
So ChangeBreeze is a ITIL aligned change management platform. It's a multi-tenant solution and it's built from the ground up for MSPs. The main idea is that we replace slow and manual CAB, so change advisory board processes, with automated approval workflows. We have a standard change system that allows for instantly approved change controls, and it also automatically notifies the stakeholders that are involved with that change.
What made you what made you build this, Shannon, and on the market?
So I actually founded this with my business partner Nathan. He lives in Sydney, and we both work for 2 separate MSPs that also use ConnectWise, funnily enough. I've worked in the industry in the MSP industry specifically for 13 years. In that time, I've moved from sort of a junior engineer to a senior engineer through to solutions consultant, team leader, and then I'm currently actually a manager for a network team at an MSP. So through that time and through the experience of making changes, technical changes in environments, I've made mistakes.
Nah.
You know, been on the end of a call where I've made a change and caused an issue in my early days, and you know, going through from technical through to leadership, being on the other side, having to sort of deal with the ramifications if something does go wrong, and ensuring that the rollback plan and the business impacts and things like that. So that sort of long experience of working through those different roles has sort of given me a bit of a high level vision of why change management is so important. The other thing is not just the sort of process aspect to it. It's more so the it's not really more so, but the other aspect to it is a bit of time saving. So I as I said, I'm a manager of a team of 12 engineers, and as part of that, there's a lot of changes happening every day.
So I have a quick question for you then.
Yep.
I have a quick question for you, Shannon. So, or maybe just for my clarification. So basically, you guys came to market with a product because of, it sounds like numerous things. One is you wanted to track the adjustments made to solve problems, so you wouldn't make those mistakes or know what the change was. Also, it provided clear communication and transparency to the whole team, and then also gives the ability for anybody new to come aboard and see what's going on, so there's no loss in time.
Yeah, I mean, the whole platform is built around ITIL. So change management is essentially it's risk, implementation plan, test plan, rollback plan, keeping everyone informed.
Yep.
And it's particularly around technical change. And sort of what I was getting at before is one of the main problems when you're looking at it from operational leadership perspective is keeping track of all the approvals. So there's generally for smaller environments or for less complex environments, there's a simpler change process where you just go through a technical approval, which is an engineer going to another engineer and validating that their change is going to work technically. And then there's an operational approval piece to it where it could be the customer IT manager, or it could be their direct team leader, where they do a sort of a business impact assessment of their change and make sure that it's not, it's not too risky, it's not happening at their core business time, core operations of business time, that sort of thing. So having that automated, that approval automation piece is something that I've seen missing in a lot of MSPs, and that's what we're trying to that's the gap we're trying to fill.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
I got it. I know. Hold on one second. I have one question. Do you happen to know statistics on how much change management can jack up everything, loss of money? Because it's a real thing, especially, and also the other part of that is, does that mean you actually are running, working side by side with project management technologies too?
Okay, so in terms of numbers, it's a tricky one. Because,
of course, it's objective.
I've done a bit of research on that, and the general consensus is that the numbers aren't accurate, because a lot of MSPs don't really want to share that information.
That makes sense.
It's not a sort of a stat that an MSP would would want to release unless it's really good.
Right. Well,
so I think that there is a I can't remember what it is. There is a generic number from a website from 10 years ago that does
yeah,
sort of
right.
give,
But no,
give a percentage, but I can't sort of hand on heart
I'd be
say that
curious
that's
to
an
know.
accurate number.
I'd be curious to know if you helped them to automate what the change in that is, because think about how many MSPs lose money on projects because of change management. They don't really account for the change the way they should. They kind of guess, like, we think it'll take this, we think it's going to change to this. So what was a 3-month project becomes a 6-month project because of the change, right? And they never really thought about that the right way and accounted for that time, and they don't get paid on it. Because one of the biggest complaints I hear from MSPs is that they don't charge enough. And they're not charging enough as a lot of times stems from something like this.
Yeah, I mean, from a project delivery standpoint, the way that our tool assists would be in the implementation piece. So going from old solution to the new solution and having a planned strategy to get there.
Sure.
Almost like a run sheet, plus ensuring that all the risks and all the business impacts and all the people that are involved or need to be involved are involved. That's where our solution sort of fits in.
Yep.
In terms of managing a project budget, that's not really what our tool's designed for.
Yep. Gotcha. Well, yeah. No, I didn't think so, but I just think it's about tracking it all and working with the project management firms that do this, right?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a tool that would be used in a project. So one of our features is called Virtual Cab, and when actually it sort of reminds me of a situation I was in, maybe, well, not really I was in, but a situation I was made aware of about 6 months ago, and one of the engineers on a project wasn't really keeping the PM informed with what they were doing, what changes were happening, and where the project was at overall. And I think that was sort of subliminally another thing that sort of helped us work on this project, where basically our tool with our VCAB feature would automatically keep anyone that's involved with the project informed. So the project manager would be kept up to date with what changes are happening. The customer stakeholders, the customer can even be involved in the approval process with our platform. So, yeah.
So, I mean, this is, Sean, this has actually been 5 years of doing PitchIT, and this is the first company to tackle change management around ITIL. And I will say it is probably one of the biggest struggles probably the past 10, 15 years running an MSP business that I've had to deal with. And so I just want, Shannon, just a little bit of backstory on, what you were working in MSP, what drove you, like, I need to solve this problem, because I was so frustrated at times that, downloading the ConnectWise marketplace and the templates and the service boards and the workflows, and it's complicated when you come to ITIL, and running and operating an MSP business, it's a lot to, stay focused on that. So give me just a little bit of backstory, kind of what drove you into wanting to go down this path of creating a solution.
Okay, so that's an interesting one. I think it probably comes down to, I don't like doing things manually, and
Fair.
so if I I guess that's just part of my nature. I like to automate things, and I guess coming into management and just having team members going, "Hey, I have a change ready for approval," me going at the time, "I don't have time to approve it right now. I'll approve it later," just in my head, and forgetting about it, right? And so that was one reason for sort of putting it together. The other is it just seemed like a really manual process in a lot of cases. I know there's some ITSM platforms that have it built in, But ConnectWise is what I've mainly been working with through my MSP career, and there was no change management platform in there. And if there was, you sort of had to sort of custom make it work. So basically, that gap is what I saw, and I've got so the business partner I work with, Nathan, I've known him since I was a teenager, and we've been building we've been like sort of entrepreneur, I guess we could call ourselves entrepreneurs that whole time, where we've just been building little things here and there. Nothing's really worked, and this is the first sort of platform that we've really put a lot of effort into. And when something's coming out of it, sort of circling back. He also works for an MSP with ConnectWise and has the same issues.
It's a prolific problem in our space, and it's just there's a lot of manual things going around. I just you were asking, Sean was asking some questions earlier around time savings and so forth, and because I imagine there was a lot of time spent going through approvals and doing those type of things, and this would probably accelerate that. So your probably ROI calculation could easily be done from that. Do you know how much time you spent on change management at your MSP business, that suddenly you have this tool and it's now cutting back that time? You don't have to spend it doing that.
No, I actually haven't calculated the time savings. I haven't, to be honest. It's
okay.
It's it's a really difficult one to sort of calculate, because it's not just one business unit that it impacts. It's the engineering side. Finance, yep. It's the technical. It's that approval process. It's from the, as I said, from the management side, the managers being able to approve those changes. Then there's the notification side as well, where basically you don't have to open up an email and send an email to and try and find who's related to the change. You hit start change, it automatically tells all the stakeholders that the change has started. Our ConnectWise integration, it puts a note on the ticket and says the change has started, and puts a bit of an audit trail on there as well. But that's the beauty of it. It affects the sort of the whole workflow behind the scenes, like engineering, management, stakeholders, and the notifications in between.
Yeah. Okay. So that's really helpful understanding the product and so forth. So let's get just back on this journey of the story, and just what kind of was thinking around, like what drove you to apply to PitchIT?
Okay. So I'm just trying to remember how that sort of came about. So what the way that we found it actually was, I was just sort of looking for, I think I was just looking for grants in Australia. So what government grants might be available for startup businesses and things like that. And I was just having a chat with AI, and it said, "Oh, you should apply for PitchIT." And that was sort of on the back of my mind for a while. And I told Nathan actually did the application, and Nathan applied for it. We had no idea when it was starting, and then a week later it started, and we're like, "What? That was quick." That's pretty much how it came about. So, yeah,
that's great.
Good story. Sean.
Yeah.
No, I was just over to you. Question.
Oh yeah, no, I'm here. I'm here for the question. So, all right, now that you're in this, I mean, obviously you're a tremendous salesperson, Shannon. We can tell by the way you definitely love to carry the conversation with us on this. You're definitely an engineer, which I love, by the way. So
you can tell.
Oh yes. So, but with that though, what have you learned anything since you've been in the program this year?
Look, yes, a lot.
He said, "Look," I thought you were going to say, "Look, not really, but I like all you guys."
He said a lot.
But he said a lot, yeah. But the way he started it was like, look,
there's a but. There is a but. So one, obviously the time in Australia is a little
yes, we know.
fun. So when we join, we're sort of, we're not fully there. We're mostly awake, but a few of them have resonated really a lot with us. So the AI one recently, that's been really good. I think sort of having a chat with some of the other contestants as well. So we actually had a really good meetup with Sean. I think Sean from Spotto AI, and yeah, he's really cool. And funny enough, he has connections to people that I know in Australia, and he's in New Zealand. So that was funny.
I mean, you just
but
right
yeah,
across the water. It's no big. You guys are close enough. I mean,
yeah, pretty much.
Everybody knows
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I thought that was funny. But yeah, I mean, having sort of, we gave him a lead and he gave us a couple of leads and that sort of thing. So that was really cool. We actually had a really awesome chat only 6 hours ago with Donovan from
from Stock in the Channel.
the UK. Yeah, Stock in the Channel. Yeah, he's a really cool guy, and he's given us some really good advice. And I know that's if we weren't in PitchIT, then we wouldn't have had the opportunity to have a chat with these sort of people. And I think that's really what's helping us.
Really small community. In fact, it's such a small community. I just saw Vanahai, right? That whole thing, not to shift your conversation, but we'll do that another time. We'll do a recap. But yeah, so Shannon, when you're thinking about your product, you're thinking about PitchIT, and having to nail down a 5-minute pitch is a lot. I'm just curious of what part of your product or what part are you most focused on sharpening during this PitchIT the next 10 weeks or so?
So in terms of the core product, it's I think the main part of the product that we're going to be sort of pitching is the MSP interaction side of it. So yes, there's a change management aspect to it, and anyone can create a Word document that is basically an ITIL aligned change management document, but our platform is designed to integrate with MSP, and it also allows the customer to also connect into that system and be part of the change management process. And that is where I think our platform differs. So customer can be a technical, if you've got a technical MSP, so an IT team in a customer environment, along with an so a lot of the time you've got an IT team in a customer environment and you've got an MSP IT team, right? And the customer IT team can be making changes. The MSP IT team makes changes, and sometimes the two sort of clash. They don't really know who's doing what. And our platform actually sort of brings those two teams together, because the MSP IT team can be technical change creators, and the customer can be a technical or an operational approver to a change. And that, I think, brings the customer and the MSP a bit more closely together, and allows them to work more as a team through technical change.
Okay.
And I think that's where we'll focus for our pitch.
It's just out of curiosity, though, when you go into this technical piece, how do you keep it relevant as to not be too tight? Because you never know who's in the audience, right? Who's listening. So if you're talking to a MSP owner that isn't in the weeds of technical or anything, what's the value to the MSP owner?
Yeah. So in terms of when we're talking about non-technical, the platform is also meant to send notifications to non-technical stakeholders, because a lot of the time you might have it could be a logistics warehouse, and an engineer wants to make a technical change that the logistics manager on site may have no idea what this person's talking about or what they're doing from a technical aspect, but they do need to know, is there going to be an outage? Is it going to cause any temporary performance issues, or what's the impact of this change? And our platform has a clear section that needs to be filled in. What is the impact? And that, from even a technical person filling that in, they're going to put something in there that's human readable and easy to understand for people that are non-technical. And that's the field that the non-technical people really need to be aware of. And a lot of the time, those people get missed in the notification chain.
Yeah, got it. Fair. All right.
Nice.
There's more things we could talk about, but that's fine.
Yeah, there's a lot more I'm curious if we can talk about. I really appreciate you, Shannon, for being on here. I love your passion around this, especially when it comes to ITIL, and that is definitely a big problem when it comes to change control and so forth. Really cool. And I know it's something you genuinely care about. It's a very technical tool, and you're building it from your real experience, right? And I think at Central Mafia, we believe in building MSPs based on real experience and really sharing value at those different things. So what we heard today, from you is just matches that perfectly. And so, I just want to thank you for being on here. If you're already not part of Central Mafia, definitely check out centralmafiaug.com. Sean, any closing thoughts or words?
No, I think, no. Honestly, I can't say anything that Shannon hasn't even said for me or in general, but I think the important piece to realize is that every MSP watching this needs to check out these companies. I'm sure Shannon would like to get feedback on what he could do to help them, also hopefully get them as a client. So I think that's kind of important.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely check out ChangeBreeze.com, and Shannon, we'll see you on the other side of this. So thank you very much, and see you guys next week.
I'm happy you called it the right name.
Yeah.
Awesome.